you know, there are so many times that you wash your hands and, you know, you have separate, but it really is important. I mean, especially if you're talking with the young or the elderly, they will get food poisoning. They really will.
It's just as important as not to me.
Yeah, well, this is exactly it. You have a responsibility. So look at the golden colour of that. That's what I'm looking at. So that is beautiful. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to say turn the light down. Turn it off, it's fine, this will be alright in a minute. Right, I want to talk to you about what makes this Thai coconut chicken. Now, I'm going to put all it in the spices for this particular recipe. Alright, on that, I'm going to show you how to chop an onion, and I'll get the spices. Okay, so I know you've got all the ingredients there, but I obviously want to just go through what we have. We have chopped ginger, we have chilli, we have zest and juice of lime, we've got cinnamon, and we've also got curry powder. Now this cinnamon is from Jerusalem. It's absolutely divine. And what I like to think is, when you go to the spice markets, wherever you're going out in the world, not only is it small, it doesn't cost very much. It's far superior than you're ever going to get from your supermarket. Can't compare the two. You're not going to get stuck at customs. And if there's room in your suitcase, buy me some too. Honestly, it is absolutely fantastic. I'm going to let you smell this. This is nothing like you'll be able to get back here. Absolutely love it. And you know, whether you've been to places like Marrakesh or you've been to Turkey, to Istanbul, to the spice markets, fantastic, absolutely wonderful. You know, they really are. So I'm going to pass it to salt. You pop your nose in that and you will understand. Now when you have spices, you need to fry them, and that actually brings out the flavour by frying them. I'm going to put the rest of this chicken in a minute, and then I'm going to add the other spices too. This is curry powder.
There's so many curry powders. How do you know which one?
Oh well, it depends how pungent you. Yeah. How? Oh, they've got paprika in it.
The red ones.
I'm going to put a bit more cinnamon in this. So we can pass those one or two. That's right, and I'll put that down. So you fry the spices off to give them the flavour. Now, when you have spices, thank you. You want to keep them in a dry place away from sunlight. All right, so we'll stir that all in a minute. Put that on the hob. So let me talk to you about the other. Is that nice? Amazing.
So good.
I mean,
Okay, so all you've got in there is the
So
oil,
pure,
the
like
spice,
regular.
cinnamon,
and curry powder
and the chicken,
at the moment.
which was pre-fried.
Yeah, only like I showed you. We did one here.
We have to pre-fry it.
to give it the colour. Yes.
Colour.
Yes, that is.
So before you put the spices, you fry it?
Yes, you can do it that way, or you can fry the spices and bring them in, but I'm just going to put a bit more cinnamon in. Stir it together. It looks like a lot, but actually when you come to taste it, it actually won't be, it mellows. Now the other ingredients we're going to be putting in is chopped up onion, and I'm going to show you how to chop up the onion. Is the red onion, ginger and chilli, and tomato, chopped tomatoes and coconut milk. And you can put this all in together, whether it's for, you know, any time. It's a perfect Friday night dinner, quite frankly, because you can leave it simmering away for quite a while on a low light. It's not a chulent style. I wouldn't leave it overnight. It's not one of those, but it's certainly one you could leave for several hours and just leave it on a very low light. So it works very well.
Can you do this with another meat, for example?
Yes, you could. I mean,
lamb?
Yes. Just one thing about lamb, it really does shrink. So how much, I don't know how often you use, it's apart from being incredibly expensive, whether you buy it from wherever butchers you buy it, it shrinks so much. So almost one packet is almost for one person. It depends how big these packets are, but even like this, you think, oh, that'll be enough. And it just shrinks to next to nothing. So just be warned, there's nothing more embarrassing than you've bought meat and you think it's going to go far, and you open that lid and it's shrunk to nothing. You think, oh, how awful. So beef is not so bad on the pecking scale of shrinking, but lamb really does shrink. And on a health point of view, the healthiest meat is turkey. So you could do this with lovely big cube turkey, both white and dark meat. It is the healthiest meat to use with less fat. Apart from the most economical, it is the healthiest as well. So let's pop these in.
When would you use red onions as opposed to white onions?
Well, there isn't really a rule or thumb, but let's think about how it's going to look. Let's cook with flavour as well. It does have a different slight flavour to it, but also the colour is very important. So I just want to show you how to chop an onion, because John was quite intrigued. Right, this was the whole onion, as you can see, and then I cut it in half this way so it is flat. And I'll lift this up so you can see. Now there's this part here that's got the edges, and I've kept that intact. Two reasons why we keep that together. One is that it keeps the onion together, and hopefully it actually means that you cry less. I mean, all these different old wives' tales that say, oh, you know, you're not going to stream irons, but it does actually help. So with and again, looking at safety, with your hand flat, and I will lift this up. What I'm going to do is slice 3 or 4 slices. That's spring onion, still the onion all intact, and then downwards.
And not all the way through.
No, 3/4 of the way through. Again, the onion, so I've gone this way and then I've gone down there. And when the knife on the board, you literally push the knife forward and you chop.
I've actually heard that there is a method to prevent the crying of chopping onions.
What,
Is
goggles or put a
know.
metal spoon?
Actually, yeah, well, I've seen goggles before actually, but I don't think it works.
Not a good look.
But there is also definitely a way. I've checked it even, and it works. If you breathe entirely through your mouth, completely through your mouth, and then I've done it before, and I don't feel anything, because when you breathe through your nose, it goes straight into your eye from the back of your eye, and it will. But then you'll have a taste in your mouth afterwards because you're breathing through your mouth.
Sounds good.
Nice.
Yeah.
I'll try that.
As I say, true or false, but yes. No, that sounds like a good way, but anyway, so let's just look at them. We've pan fried these lovely pieces of chicken. I am going to put a little bit of salt and pepper, hot, and let that simmer away. Right, so chop this really finely. Give that a stir. I'm going to add and this is tinned tomatoes and coconut milk. So in there all goes. This is the tomatoes.
That's just 1 can?
That's 1 can, yes. And the coconut milk.
And do you prefer that to making your own from natural tomatoes?
The time and place. This actually works quite well. It depends. You can get different makes. But this one's actually.
Anyway,
It looks so funny with pouring milk on the chair.
It's coconut. It does. As ain't horror. What do you think we're doing here? But actually, it is coconut milk. I promise you. I promise you. Right. Okay. So literally, that will put the lid on. What I am going to put there's away something. This is actually my chicken soup. All right. What I have done here, sort of making, powdered stock. Drain your chicken stock off of carrots and onions, and what have you got? The most fantastic stock. Now this is a little bit of mine, so I'm going to use this for the soup. I'm also going to use this for the rice as well. But you could freeze that in sections, in Tupperware containers and weigh it, and then you know how much it is. So I'm just going to give this a bit more of a.
Could you also talk about how you make that?
How
soup?
I make my chicken soup?
Yeah.
Okay, all right. Personally, I think that the best chicken soup flavour, should we put this on the hob and then I can talk and come back, and I won't start. I promise you.
No, don't worry.
Oh, I have it. That's it. That's it.
What sort of heat?
Medium to low, because it will bring to the boil. All right. So I personally think that chicken wings and carcass together give great flavour. So you put cold water on. Make it bucket load, don't make little pots, make a big one. Because throughout the few days, whether how many people you've got for Friday night dinner or whenever you use this, the rest of the week, for your 3-4 days after, you can use this as chicken stock, which you use for all sorts of things, whether it's stews or, with soups or whatever you want, making rice, making lentils, whatever, they all need liquid. They wanted flavoured liquor. You cook with water, it's tasteless. So you cook with chicken, natural chicken stock. So I poured cold water over to a big pot like this.
Like cold water and not
because
ready
you
boiled?
want it naturally to come up and it brings out the flavours, of which you are going to put onions in with the skin on. So just wash them, cut the onions in half, maybe 3 or 4 onions, big onions, skin on, gives it 2 things, flavour and colour. I also put celery, I put turnip, I put parsnip, I put carrots, I put bay leaf, I put swede, I put turnip. It's so many, a big bunch of parsley, I put so many vegetables that it's flavoursome.
But it's more like a vegetable soup than a
No,
chicken
because you
soup.
strain that after. The only thing I keep are the carrots and the onion. I take that out, I've got this big strainer, strain it all off when it's cooled a bit. And the chicken wings, again, hot, cold, warm, you can enjoy those as a little treat for yourself, but they do give really good flavour. You will taste it, none of the extra chicken powder, you know, the ozone powder, you don't need to use any of that, completely natural.
How long do you have to boil it for?
So 3 hours.
Sorry?
3 hours.
I find that the water just evaporates. I keep
Because you've got
having
the
to
light
add
too
more.
high.
Sorry?
You've got the light too high.
Simmer it.
So really low light, really low light.
So what about these people who say you have to put in a turkey neck because it discolours the soup? A lot of people
So
use
does the
turkey
onion.
neck.
So does the onion. What's the fantasy of having a soup that's got a colour? What's wrong with that?
And what about eggshells? I was told that you should put eggshells in.
You've got to start straining those out.
Somebody said it takes
Proteins.
Eggshells.
It gives it, it's
All right,
enhances the flavour.
all right. So when you've made it and you've drained it and it's cooled and you put it in the fridge, so ideally you make it Thursday for Friday, so you use it Thursday afternoon or whatever work commitments you are.
How can you avoid all the scum on top?
Okay, all right. You strain that off with a strainer, with a spoon with here
Holes.
with holes, and then it's a really good tip is when you've chilled it and you're about to use it fresh, got all the fat at the top. Put cling film on it and it all comes off. It's a really good tip.
Or kitchen towel.
Well, yeah, but that's
Paper
soggy.
That's right.
Can you use that chicken fat?
Bring it all out.
Yeah, it does. Things on top. It's actually
Can you use the chicken fat for cooking or is it
no, I use
very
it for
unhealthy?
knedler.
For knedler.
I make it with so very sorry, but I use it to make knedler. But yes, you can. Of course, you can. You can put it on your roasted potato. Wonderful, absolute cholesterol delight.
Yeah.
But yes,
People
but
like
don't let
me.
me stop you. There you go. So that's the sort of things. That's how I've made it. So a little recap. We've got the chicken cooking nicely. The fish is all ready to go. What I want to do now, because we're going to cook the pineapple. So this has had chilli on it. We don't want chilli with our pineapple, so I have a fresh chopping board. So the oven is already on. And this is a really nice, healthy option because it is a Thai feast. So you've got 4 courses. I mean, I serve this. Actually, we're not making this today, but I often serve this with coconut ice cream, of which I use the coconut milk,